we have everything from bubbles to building to a Feast for Beasts gallery with live animals. They can get to broadcast the news. So there's something for everyone at the museum.
I'm Kristen.
And I'm Sharon.
And we're here to spill the tea. Long Island tea. Hello, and welcome back to Long Island Tea. I'm Kristen.
And I'm Sharon.
Hey, Sharon.
Hey.
How you doing?
I'm doing good. How you doing?
I'm doing good. So,
it's been a week for you, my friend.
You know, I said my tea last week was that I was doing my 3-day juice cleanse. Mm-hmm. And I finished it last night. Today is day 4. So, cheers. I did it. This is water. I got to do this. Cheers.
Amazing. I'm so proud of you.
I did it.
First of all, I'm so proud of you for doing it.
Thank you.
Secondly, I'm so proud of your mood and your attitude throughout the whole process.
Oh, thank you.
I think you nailed it, girl.
It was hard. Mm-hmm. I will tell you that I think my family suffered the brunt of my mood. And it wasn't bad. It was just silent, apparently. Yeah. What I heard today is like, you didn't speak for 3 days. when I went home, apparently I didn't speak.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So I did as promised. I documented it on our social media channel. I put it on my Instagram stories, and then we reposted it on the podcast stories. So a lot of people, and it was amazing. Like, I was really floored at how many people
reached out,
DM'd me, men and women. Men were like, I can't fit in my pants anymore since COVID. Tell me about this. I might need to do this. And women were like, does your stomach grumble? Tell me how you're doing. And it was amazing. I was like, really felt, and people were like, way to go. I'm so proud of you.
Yeah.
I felt so much support, and it was awesome. And then my daughters were texting me like, take these stories down.
Stop what you're doing now.
Yeah. They're like, we're literally being bullied at school. Knock it off. Mom, please. Also, why are your eyebrows so weird?
Oh, no, you looked beautiful.
No, and I was like, I don't know. They're like, also, your part needs to be in the middle because I went side part again. Your hair is in a tight. It was crazy. But I promised people, I said, if they tune in to the podcast, that I would give them, some tips on how it worked. So do you mind indulging me for
Please.
just a second? Okay. So first of all, I did it. So let me just say that I bought the juice cleanse on Amazon.
Okay. Which is brave.
Yeah. Well, right.
So
you never know.
There's that.
But it was about $100.
Okay.
So for a 3-day juice cleanse, and you get 6 juices a day, and they ship directly to your door, and they're frozen, and then there's no guessing, right?
Did you have any point in your time where you were like, not another juice?
No. In fact, you're supposed to drink 6 a day, and I actually drank 5 a day, so I have a few left over.
I feel like it's a lot.
It's a lot. And the green juices looked really gross and intimidating, but they're actually not bad. They tasted good, I thought. But if you don't want to spend $100, there are a lot, when I went on Pinterest, there are a lot of DIY.
Okay.
Like 3-day juice cleanses. You can do it yourself. Yeah. You can get the vegetables and the fruits, and you can blend it yourself. To me, I would never have made it through that process.
Right. No.
I don't DIY anything.
Nope.
I would have given up before the blender was even done. I'm like, this is too much work.
Even plugged
I'm done. So for me, it has to be as seamless and easy where you just open the juices and drink them. So the other thing I would say to make sure you're successful is plan it out. Mm-hmm. So for example, I had a lunch meeting today.
Right.
So, and plus the podcast and where we drink wine.
Right.
So I knew I couldn't do it Thursday, Friday, and I don't want to do it on the weekend and set myself up for failure. So I planned it 2 weeks in advance on a Monday through Wednesday where I blocked my calendar.
Yeah.
No lunches, no happy hours, no date nights, nothing like that.
Right.
So made sure, because otherwise it gets it's too hard.
Yeah. It's a commitment.
Yeah.
Right.
You have to plan it, I think, and really, block the time.
Yeah.
And then the other thing is, and Alyssa and I were talking about this today, is I wouldn't, I lost 4 pounds.
Which is amazing.
Right.
Congratulations.
In 3 days, which was good.
That's awesome.
I was hoping for 5.
Right.
But 4 is fine.
Okay.
Because I don't think you should do it for weight loss. I think there are probably other easier ways to lose weight just by cutting your carbs or whatever, monitoring your calories. Because it's really intense. It's hard.
Yeah.
And it's a sacrifice. But I did it more as a reset. So I think you have to have the right intentions.
Yeah.
I did it because it's spring. We've been in quarantine, all these things. And, the coffee, I was drinking a lot. I love my coffee, as you know.
Yeah.
I love my wine. I love my almonds. I love my Diet Coke. And I just thought, you know what? I wanted to just
hit the reset.
and just prove to myself I could do it.
Yeah.
And really and truly do it as like a cleansing experience, not as a weight loss thing.
Right, exactly.
I think if you're doing it as a weight loss thing, you might be disappointed because there's probably easier ways to do it.
So without the coffee, like I was talking to you earlier, I gave up caffeine 2 months ago.
I can't even believe that. I'm mind blown.
It's just unbelievable the detox that your body goes through when you get rid of something like that. The headaches that I had were unbearable.
Yeah.
So you didn't have that.
No, I did have it took the first night was like unimpressed. I didn't feel like I felt better. I didn't feel like I slept better. I didn't feel like anything, impactful. But it takes a few days, right? And so the second day, I did go to bar on the second and third day. And the third day, I'm not going to lie, last night, going to bar after you hadn't had a morsel of food in 3 days.
Right. No
I was
energy.
like, whoa.
Yeah.
But no, I didn't. I had a headache, but it wasn't unbearable. But it was only 3 days.
Okay.
Right. So, a lot of it is just, the part, it's funny. I told the story on our Instagram stories on night 2. The hardest part were at nights for me.
Yeah. When you're bored.
Because you know what? You don't even when I go to bar at 6 and I get home at 7. Okay. So then it's still 7:30.
Right.
And you're not doing anything with your family. You're not prepping for dinner or cooking dinner or sitting down for dinner. You basically drink a juice and then you're done.
Yeah.
And so the second night, Tegan bumped her toe. She's like, there, I can't even believe it. She stubbed her toe. This girl, I love her, but she can get hurt standing still.
Yeah.
And stubbed her toe and it was bruised. So I'm like, do you need medical tape from CVS? Because I'll go.
I have no problem. I'll be right back.
And she's like, I could, so I guess. So I jump up, which is something I would never do. I never like to leave the house once I come home.
Right.
I go to CVS by myself and I'm like an hour pacing
the aisles.
cosmetics. And
because now they all have like the beautiful nail bars.
$97 later.
God.
And an hour.
Easy.
Although I think I finally have cracked the code on a matte lipstick that won't smear.
Are you wearing
underneath
it right
my
now?
mask. Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah. I need this because I always wear a mask on Long Island TV and then I take it off and I look like the Joker.
Right.
So I think I bought like multiple lipsticks, multiple nail polishes. I bought like a ring light for my phone.
So awesome.
This is me at CVS and like the as seen on TV aisle.
I can, totally need that.
What is like fix a flat? I'm like,
and it's like a can this big. Like,
literally everything. Like that knife is amazing. I should probably get that. Or like,
who doesn't need a poof?
I am the biggest as seen on TV aisle sucker.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I fully impulse bought just a ton of stuff.
That's hysterical.
Sheer boredom. And then last night was tough because we did sit down for family dinner and I had my juice and everybody ate. And it was like hard because
watching everyone. Yeah,
it was hard because this is day 3. To me, it was just like getting through it. But I'm really glad I did. And let me tell you, nothing tasted better than that Starbucks this morning.
Right. Or this wine today.
Tell us about it, Sharon.
So we are drinking a rosé blend. It's called As If. It's from our friends at Chronicle Wines.
I love the name, As If.
I know. So Alicia Silverstone.
It reminds you of Clueless. And I was like, 100%.
Yeah. And it's probably, I don't know.
You don't even go here.
Right? Rolling with my homies.
Exactly.
But it's a delicious rosé blend. It's the dry, full-bodied rosé designed to mature, bold, and age-worthy with brooding flavors of crushed berries, pomegranate, rhubarb, and fennel. Pairs well with hearty dishes, strong cheeses, my favorite, and it's delicious year-round. So,
and this is again a Chronicle wine.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
And it's made by, do you know the owner?
Do we have her? Yes, we do. It's the partner of our last...
Robin. Yeah, Robin we featured last week.
It's Allie Shaper. She is born and raised on Long Island. She studied engineering at Cornell University and spent a few postgraduate years working in Silicon Valley. She spent the weekends at the vineyards and realized her passion to work in the wine industry. Returning to New York, Allie began working in wine retail, hospitality, and marketing while obtaining her advanced certificate for the Wine and Spirits Education Trust of London, and then training in winemaking at Premium Wine Group on the North Fork. She served on the Long Island Wine Council from 2014 to 2017.
Yeah, I love that we're still, this is our final week in Women's History Month, and we're still celebrating women. And it's a woman-owned wine because it's called As If.
Right.
So women get women.
They do.
And you know what? Let's be honest. The wine drinkers right now are women our age.
Yeah.
We are the premium client for these kinds of wines.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I'm a wine club member. And, but you know what? It's rosé season too, which this makes me so happy
so
that
exciting.
we're back in the rosé.
It's spring. It's beautiful.
Rosé.
Rosé all day.
Now, I mean, we were kind of drinking rosé during the winter just because we were posing.
Yeah.
But now it's like actually acceptable to drink rosé.
Yeah, and it's so good.
Yeah, I love it. And I love that it's a woman because, as if.
Right.
This is actually called Courage Rosé.
Okay.
Oh, Alyssa told it. It's called Courage Rosé. Oh my God, I love that.
Serendipity, courage, persistence.
Oh my God, I love that.
It's
that
so
is
cute.
so what we've been talking about all month.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And I'm so excited because you know what? We are actually one of your tea last week. Speaking of women, strong women, is that we are now live as guests on the Vogel Twins podcast.
Oh, that's so exciting.
Speaking of courageous, world traveling, the future generation of women.
Oh, they're amazing.
I am so proud of those girls.
I know.
So it's been a great week. I love it. And I love this wine. And I just think I love the name. Persistence, courageous. What is it? Serendipity.
So cute.
Oh my God. Every woman should buy this for your bestie.
Yeah, definitely. It's delicious.
As we all start to come out of hibernation.
Yeah,
in
exactly.
the spring.
Even sit outside and by your fire pit, rosé.
I know.
So excited.
I know. I
just bought. Wayfair. Love Wayfair. And we just got all new outdoor furniture for Dad. That's the thing about Wayfair. It's like, if you don't pay the extra $200 for them to put it together, you got to put it together yourself.
Well, your husband is like Mr. Put It Together.
He
was throwing the Allen key across the lawn. I kind of felt bad, and he's
you kind of felt that. You're like, but also
I'm watching him out the window, and I'm like, do you need another Bud Light, honey?
You're such an enabler. It's so funny.
Yeah. But it looks beautiful. I'm excited.
Oh my gosh, that's exciting. So last year for my birthday, I got this one of those. Have you seen them outdoor beds, lounge
Chaise
beds?
Lounges.
But it's like a dual person, and it can tilt up this way or this way, and it's you can do both sides and face each other.
That's awesome.
And it's got the little tray table.
What? That's so cool.
Because we have the outdoor movie theater.
Yeah.
Because of COVID, really, we were apparently we're in our backyard forever.
Right.
And so it's been away. In fact, at one point in the winter, you couldn't even see it. It was literally buried in snow.
Oh my gosh.
So we put the cushions back on it.
Okay.
Just last weekend, and I was like,
what is it made out of? Is it made out of rattan? Yeah.
It's like a wicker. I don't know. What's that? What did you say? What's
rattan?
Probably.
Yeah, same thing.
I don't know.
And I was so worried because we had major thunderstorms, and I'm like, I didn't cover it.
Oh my God.
I don't know if you have to. So you had it out.
Well, it's outdoor cushions. No, I put the cushions away.
Right, but the actual seat itself is fine.
The actual seat itself is fine.
Okay, good.
But you put you try to put the cushions away, but you never know. Every once a week it'll rain or something, so you're like,
crap.
I know.
I gotta run outside.
I know, you do what you can. But I love it because you just lay out there and read a book.
Oh my God, that's so amazing.
I know. I love it. I love outdoor furniture.
I know.
We have a fire pit, but we burned through the bottom of it.
Oh no.
It's like this copper one. It's really cool. And I keep telling Thomas we need a new one. And Thomas is like, no, I'm going to fix it.
Yeah, I love it. I love Thomas.
All right, just throw it away.
And just get a new one.
And buy a new one.
But we did that. I actually got a propane one. A gas one, which I love. What a difference.
Flip the switch.
Yeah. And then you turn it off when you're done. And you don't have to worry about it.
I know. That's what I would like, but Thomas is more of a purist.
Yeah, he wants the wood.
He likes the wood. I think he likes to make the boys who come around for our teenage daughters work. To be honest, whenever they come around, he's like, load the fire pit.
Oh my God, that was my life. We had wood burning stove heating up my house, and any man or anything that my sisters, their boyfriends would come in, they're like, you're not allowed in this house until you bring a pile of wood in.
Yeah, it's awesome. It is. It's like a rite of passage.
It is.
You're
it's
let's
crazy.
see what you're made of.
Yeah.
Load the fire pit.
Yeah, it's funny.
And it's really cute when they do. The little, you can tell the boys that are willing to do the work.
Yeah, exactly.
And the ones that can't, you're moving on.
Yeah, gotta go. You're done here, sir. Thank you.
I know. Okay, so that is really awesome. I'm excited about spring and rosé season, and that means that summer's coming. The daffodils are starting to bloom on Long Island.
It's
and
beautiful
it's so awesome.
weather.
I know. It feels, in fact, it's so funny because it's supposed to rain tomorrow, and we were going to film Long Island TV, but we had to postpone it because of the rain. And I had ordered on my clothing service the cutest Tory Burch sweater.
Oh.
But then I was like, I don't understand because it's pouring rain, but it's also 70.
68. Yeah, exactly.
And I was like, I don't understand
know what we're gonna
how
do.
this works. How does this work? So now I don't know where to wear that sweater, but I'm going to find a place. And I'm also excited because we've been talking about the segment, the podcast. And after we were on the Vogel twins, and they wanted to know, and so you have to listen to the Vogel twins, first of all,
cute.
VOGEL. Like, Google their podcast. We'll put something on our social media so you can follow them. But they're so cute, and they're young, and they've traveled the whole world, and they wanted to talk to us about our favorite places on Long Island.
Right.
And it got us thinking, like,
What should we do?
yeah, and people, we're talking about where to go and what to do on Long Island, but we also talk about that in conjunction with everything else in our lives.
Right.
But people want to know, especially as we start to go out again and things open up.
Yeah.
And where should you go on your date night, or if you have an anniversary, or if you have a family reunion, or people coming into town. And we want to be there for you.
Yeah.
So we have a new segment.
Which I'm so excited about.
Yeah, which we're going to launch. It's called... We haven't named it yet.
We haven't named it. We're trying to find a name, but we're so excited.
Yeah,
it's called
we're calling it Ask the
Self-proclaimed.
Self-Proclaimed Experts right now, because we're self-proclaiming ourselves as experts.
Yeah, I think it's incredible.
Yeah.
Why not?
But if you have a better name, let us know, because, we're just winging it. But so we're talking about, like, what things to do on Long Island, because we are Discover Long Island.
Right.
And we know, I think, pretty much everything on Long
It's our
Island.
job.
But also, we're moms.
Yeah.
And we're
Of different age groups.
And we've been in relationships. And so it doesn't have to be, tourism or Long Island related.
Right.
Like,
we actually had an employee here that would always come to me with questions about their babies and things like that. And they're like, before I Google anything, I'm going to ask Sharon what she did when this happened, or things like that. And it's, I have 4 sisters, so
people definitely come
you
to
just
you
ask,
more than they come to me for this stuff, because I call myself like the female Dr. Phil. I'm more of the tough love person. I'm like, get it together.
Pull yourself together.
I'm like, I don't know what to tell
Hike
you.
up your skirt and let's go.
Not hike up your skirt, Sharon. I don't say
No,
that.
it's like that Shania Twain. She'll cut that. I'm full of these.
No.
No,
But-
hike up your skirt and stop being a Sally. Let's go.
Okay. I mean, I don't say that. But I will say, get it together. Alyssa, I don't think you should cut this part. I think this part is golden. I'm not going to lie. But so honestly, look, here's the deal. In no way are we certified life coaches.
Sure.
But I feel like we're life coaches.
Yeah. I think we're good advice givers.
Yeah. I remember saying, like, I'm going to be a life coach. One time I thought I was going to be a life coach. And people are like, you're going to make people cry. You shouldn't be a life coach. You're going to make people cry. But I won't make you cry, I don't think. But I will, like, if you have a question about your relationship or your mother-in-law or your babies or whatever, like, or Long Island, write into us.
Exactly.
DM us, email us.
It's not just, it's suggestions,
Yeah.
Like, we're not.
Well, I was telling you, it makes me think of this when I was in Vegas, and there was, like, the homeless guy on the side of the street, and he has the sign, and it's like, bad advice, $1. I'm like,
Smart man.
like that.
Smart man.
Right. I was like, I fully gave him $1.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, that's clever.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm going to ask me a question. I'm clearly homeless, so you probably shouldn't take advice from me, but I'll give it to you.
What did you ask him? Do you remember?
No, I don't think I asked him a question.
Okay. You're like, bye, here's $1.
Yeah. I don't need wisdom, because he would probably have laid his wisdom on me, and I don't want to hear it. This is why I don't go to psychics or anything. I don't want to know.
I love that. I love that stuff.
Yeah, but I appreciated it, so I just gave him $1.
Okay.
Just for his ingenuity.
Yeah, that's amazing.
I
Good.
appreciated it.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm not gonna make you work, but I loved it, and I've remembered that forever.
Yeah.
So this is what it is. Maybe we should call the segment "Bad Advice," $1, but not even $1, because we'll give it to you for free. Bad advice for free.
Right.
But I'm excited about it. So make sure you write us, DM us, let us know if you have a
It
question
could be
about Long Island.
anonymous, you know, like you don't have to say your name. We'll hold your name if you don't, you know.
100%. We don't have to say it. It's fine. And also I'm excited about that. So, okay. So the other thing we wanted to do before we get to our guest is talk about the Long Islandism of the day.
Yes.
So this is actually a cool story that I was saying. I'm like, did you know that the maker of Miracle Grow is from Long Island?
No, I couldn't believe that when you told me that. That was so awesome.
Yeah. So I'm reading Newsday. As I do. As I do. And there's this whole letter from the maker of Miracle Grow, Jim Hagerdorn, the Scott's Miracle Grow Company. And I had no idea that Miracle Grow was from Long Island, but he's like, hey, dear Long Islanders. And he's like, I've just developed this new like formula, and it's called Turf Builder Long Island. Wow. It's specifically made by Scott's Miracle Grow just for Long Island.
Long Island soil. That's awesome.
Because, you know, it's funny when you walk around Long Island. Long Island is like, it's like built on sand.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's literally, I mean, it's crazy that we exist.
I know.
It's just sand underneath and grass. There's some grass, but it's like, So now that it's spring, I thought, you know, let's give Scott's Miracle Grow some props, and it's called Turf Builder Long Island Long Food from Scott's.
Interesting.
So, I don't know.
You should get together with a 1-800-Flowers.
I know.
See?
Yeah.
Collaboration.
I know. It's funny that all these like floral and like lawn places are from Long Island.
It's amazing.
Because we're literally an island on sand.
Yeah. But 118 miles long.
I know, but people don't realize how green and lush it is here.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
It is beautiful, especially this time of year. So with that, I also wanted to talk about one of our greatest attractions, because as spring is coming, we're doing like, you know, we're talking about spring break, your kids being off, what to do. And plus we've all been like, you know, locked up. I keep saying locked up, but quarantined for a year, not able to touch and feel and do things. And so as the attractions open up and as, you know, where I was talking about last week, events opening up, one of our biggest attractions on Long Island is the Long Island Children's Museum. And we're lucky enough to have them on the show today.
I know. I'm so excited.
All right. So let's welcome them.
Okay.
All right, Sharon, I'm so excited to welcome Maureen Mangan, the Director of Communications and Marketing with the Long Island Children's Museum, with us today.
Hi,
Welcome, Maureen.
Welcome.
Thanks for having me. It's lovely to chat, and what a beautiful day.
Oh my gosh, finally. We got through that cold snap, and now it's smooth sailing.
Hopefully.
Spring to summer. You heard
Feels
it here
like
first.
a perfect time to think about spring break.
You're exactly right. And we were just saying, like, we have our wine, but you have actual tea. Yes, she's got the
museum.
You're working at the museum, obviously, so you have real tea. But we're so excited to have you, and you're right. We're embarking on spring break and the summer season, and you are with the Long Island Children's Museum, right there on Museum Row, the famed Museum Row in Nassau County.
It is.
Yeah.
We're excited. We're thrilled to be back, and we're so happy to see so many people thrilled to be coming back into the door. We've seen in the last couple of weeks a lot of grandparents who would normally have been regular visitors to the museum with their grandkids coming in and saying, we've been vaccinated, we can all come and play together. So that's really wonderful.
I know. The grandparents are living their best lives these days. They're all vaccinated, and they're like out and about, going on vacation, and we're all still wearing our masks and like being careful.
Waiting.
And they are too, because of the museum. But so it was really wonderful. I was just there last week because we were filming Long Island TV there, and I can't wait for that episode. It's out right now. So we're, you know, if you have not seen it yet, tune in to Long Island TV to see the visuals of the Long Island Children's Museum. But it was really wonderful. It was my first time there.
We always like to have first timers there just to get their impression. And I think you had a pretty good time.
You know what? I think like probably most people that go there, I was really impressed by the magnitude of exhibits that you have. So why don't you tell us a little bit about the museum, the square footage, the kinds of exhibits you have, and what you offer families?
Sure. One of the things that I think the museum is really known for, and what we've done really exceptionally well, is to make sure that play is personal at the museum. And so all of the exhibits, they're there so that no matter what your child's interests are, there's something there that will pique their attention and capture their curiosity. And so the other thing that we do is to try and make sure that kids can grow into the exhibit. So there are things that maybe for the toddler and then the preschooler and then the, excited tween who when people turn their back, can't wait to play. And so we have everything from bubbles to building to a Feast for Beasts gallery with live animals. They can get to broadcast the news. They get to build in our toolbox, and kids are incredibly excited about being able to use actual hammers and nails. There's all kinds of, an exhibit called Broken Fix It, which is literally about if something breaks, how do you make those repairs? Because it's something that was sort of missing from schools. And so we've given them that. We have a lot of, moms who come into that gallery and want to, it's like, please teach my child to do it so I can get stuff done around the house. So there's something for everyone at the museum.
What have you done in the museum for, protocols for
Yes, so one of the things that in the 6 months that we were closed is that there was a very active task force across the departments. And so we did a lot of research in terms of best practices and research on cleaning and safety protocols. We have electrostatic sprayers. We have medical grade air filters that were installed. There's plexiglass petitions. There's safe distancing. So for instance, in our gallery where kids build, there are actual designated play areas. So one family gets that, an area to play in. Another, So it is very safe and welcoming, and people really have appreciated the work that goes into opening it.
I felt like everybody had a lot of space to kind of come and go through the different exhibits. You never felt crowded. Obviously, you're limited in capacity right now, and there's ticketing and all these things. But it was, I definitely felt like it was very well organized, and you felt like you could kind of maneuver the entire museum safely and feel like you had your own personal space. It never felt crowded to me.
One of the things that the museum was known for from the very beginning and was very carefully built into the space was to have it be an open space, because what happens is when a family comes in, the kids start to run because they're so excited. And so we needed it to be wide open so you could always know where your child was. So we didn't expect that it would come into play now, but it's an actual bonus of the design of the building.
So I noticed that too. It was so funny. We were filming Long Island TV there, and Sharon has littles, right? But my kids are 13 and 16 now, and you forget as a mom what it was like to go through that stage. But I think what you said, Maureen, earlier, which is what makes this museum special, what I saw is that we've all been quarantined. We've been so hands off, don't touch, there's this distancing, and everything's cleaned and wonderful. So it's great that kids can have a tactile experience and touch things. And even me, I was like, ooh, the bubbles. I'm like, ooh. I'm trying
Loving
to,
it.
you turn the bubbles up, and you get to touch things and you get to experience things. And it's really important for everyone.
Frequently for a parent, they get some insights into their child's, because they don't necessarily see them at school learning. And so suddenly they have a new appreciation for how they learn. And that's another thing that the museum has built in, is that they try to address all of children's different learning styles. So again, it supports the parent and the child at the museum.
One of the questions I wanted to ask earlier, you did touch about at how there's exhibits for each child and each age. What would be like the oldest age you would consider to come there?
We usually see around, sort of from, and little ones. We have people who are bringing 2 months and 3 months olds to the museum. But I would say up until about 10.
Yeah.
Part of it becomes when it's like, it says children in the title.
Right.
That sometimes is it. But what we find is that we get those kids back when they're around 14 or 15, when they want to do service hours at the museum, because they know it's a fun place to work.
That's a great idea. And, I could see if you are an older sibling with a younger sibling, because even like you talked about your news studio, it was so funny. Even me, I was like playing with the weatherboard. I'm like pretending to be a weather person, and there really is something for everyone there. But the cool thing is that you're on Museum Row. And so, when the kids get older, you're right next to the firefighter museum. And we went to the Cradle of Aviation, which is like a mind-blowing museum too. And we're so lucky on Long Island to have such incredible cultural institutions that, especially as we've all been kind of I don't want to say locked up,
Right.
but, quarantined for a year. It's just really terrific to see families and children getting out and having a good time again.
Yeah.
I absolutely agree. And one of the things that we've seen, for instance, on a spring break week, is that families will frequently do the Children's Museum one day, the Cradle of Aviation another day. They'll go to one of the, Long Island's amazing parks. But the idea that it's central and they know how to get here is amazing.
Yeah.
And there's so much to see and do on spring break this year. And honestly, anytime during the summer, even when it's the summer, and our summers are iconic, but there are rainy days or whatever, 2 hot days, and it's a great thing to do indoors. So what kind of programs do you have? Do you have anything special running for spring break?
One of the things that's great about next week is that we're actually open Monday to Saturday, 10 to 5, which would normally be our regular schedule, and we haven't had that because of capacity limits. But we know that families need a place to go, so we want to take care of that. We have some fun, silly rabbit crafts that take place during the week that are free. And one of the things that we're really starting to look forward to is that our outdoor exhibit will actually open up in May. One of the things that we realized was that families really have learned to appreciate how fabulous Long Island's outdoor spaces are. So the idea that we can open that space as quickly as possible. So that's a sensory garden and a water play area. So kids can explore water, wind, weather. They love to be able to, race boats down the rills. And one of the things that we've realized is that water has this very unique property of being able to get kids excited and parents calm down. It's like it's an enclosed area. They hear the water in the babbling brook. It's a very soothing kind of Zen experience. So it's wonderful. And it's an incredibly popular exhibit.
Anything that one of your favorite exhibits or anything like that?
I think that, it's one of the things that I actually love to do in my job is to be able to ask people, and especially when we get people who are like, we're at the point now where we have parents bringing their children and the parents had come to the museum, is sometimes to find out what their favorite exhibit was and to find out what they've become now. And the number of people who are like, we get a lot of, reporters who might come in. And they were like, I loved being able to broadcast the news. Or,
Wow.
you can sort of start to see some career paths started. You see kids who love to build and are now engineers. Yeah. So it's really wonderful. I mean, there's no exhibit in the space that doesn't teach you and gives you a little fun. One of the best things about my job is that if it's been a hard day, you just go out on the floor.
Oh, I could totally see that because
now we're all on the floor. So
right.
We're actually get to do visitor surveys all day long just by chatting with people.
And I could totally see that because when I was there was really so much energy and joy on that floor, and you feed off of it from the children, and sometimes they're screaming, and you're like, oh my God, thank God I don't have kids like that anymore. But there's so much excitement, and I'll tell you one of the things that I found to be my favorite when I was there that was the school bus exhibit. What's that called?
Tot
Spot was for the littler kids. But you know what I loved about it, Sharon, is that it was very Long Island focused. So first of all, they had an ice cream truck. Well, I was like, it's like Lily.
So
I'm
cool.
like, it's like Lily. It's an ice cream truck, which is, of course, as we know, so Long Island. And then it's got the Long Island Railroad exhibit where you go in and you're like, you get to be the conductor of the Long Island Railroad and you sit on it and it looks so real. I loved how it brought Long Island and our own unique, neighborhood and culture into the exhibit for the kids. To me, I was like, I loved that so much. I wish that was the one, like, I'm just going to say like a second, Maureen, not a minute, but a second that I wish my kids were little again like that. Because I was like,
I'm really glad you picked up on that, because that's exactly the focus of the exhibit. It's very much to give kids a sense of what their community is like. And, to go from, the farmer's market to the train station to the lighthouse is, exactly what we want them to realize, that it's their opportunity to start to explore where we live.
I loved it so much. And I was like, I was seriously telling Chris, our cameraman producer, I was like, take a picture of that. Get the ice cream truck. Get the Long Island Railroad, because it's so cute. I'm like, get this little boy being conductor. And you sit in the chair, and it feels like you're sitting on the Long Island Railroad. It was so cool. So I loved it. I was really was blown away, to be honest, by the entire museum when I was there, because it was something that the whole tool time area where you're building stuff, and then the animal exhibit where it was like a diner, which is again another Long Island thing where you go to the diner and it's like there's like the bear and the otter, and you're like, and you get to put stuff in the menu like, would the bear eat this? Would the otter eat that?
That's so cool.
It was really hands-on. It was so fun, and I was so impressed by what you have to offer Long Island families. And we're just really privileged to have an attraction like this in our community, and we wanted to make sure everyone knows about it.
One of the things that we've seen over the last few months, and you know this, is that there's a lot of new, Long Island homeowners, and one of the things that a lot of young parents do is to try and find their community, and so they come and want to meet other young parents. And so we definitely have seen an increase in people who are new visitors to the museum, and they're all buying memberships, which is fabulous.
Yeah, that's
and
awesome.
It's the best bargain around.
Tell us about it. What is it? What does it entail?
So you get free museum admission. You get, by using your membership, you also get discounted admission at other children's museums around the country.
Wow.
So people who are traveling maybe and haven't seen relatives in a while, they can go to the museums. You get, depending upon your level, you get discounts on our birthday parties, on the museum store. So it really is a wonderful, because you can literally, there were people who will be run over for an hour. Wow. And it's like, I want my child to burn off a little bit of energy.
Yeah.
And then, and then they'll come back for a longer visit.
Yeah, and there's no smarter thing, as you know, from having little kids, than just taking them someplace where it is a confined, safe place where you can kind of just
let them
take
run
it.
a
Even
little
at
bit.
the park, sometimes you're like worried, what are they getting into outside? But here, it's confined, it's safe, everything is made kid-friendly.
Yeah.
It really is a wonderful place for families of all ages, and I was so... I can't believe it's been, so many years I've been here, and it was my first time there, but it was really amazing, and we love having you on the show and telling our listeners about you.
Thank you so much, and we really appreciate the attention, because, a lot of people haven't, it's been a while since some people have visited, so it's great to have a fresh eyes tell them it's good to come.
Absolutely. And if you need a visual of the museum, make sure you tune in to Long Island TV on YouTube, because you can actually see all of these exhibits we're talking about and get a good idea of not only how fun it is, how much stuff there is to do, but also the safety
and
precautions that they're
doing.
taking.
Yeah.
Because I'll tell you that it's so wide open. There's so much space, and the capacity is limited, that you really feel like it feels so safe and so open-aired that it's great. I just loved it. Anyway, thank you, Maureen.
Thank you so much
for being with
Thank you
us.
guys so much. Come and visit again.
We'll put everything in the notes for how to contact you or the museum and websites and stuff like that.
I appreciate it.
All right. Thanks, Maureen.
Take care, Maureen.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Okay, Sharon, that was so great. I'm telling you, I was really blown away by that museum when I went there. I had the privilege of going there, and Maureen and her staff, they've been there. They believe in what they're doing. It's so wonderful.
So passionate. It's awesome. But speaking of other museums in Museum Row, there's Cradle of Aviation right down the road a little bit. And one of their exhibits there is featuring a pilot, and we're closing out Long Island Women's History Month of March. This is our last episode in the month of March. So we wanted to feature some women on Long Island, one of which is Eleanor Smith Sullivan, a pioneering aviator. She flew her first plane at 6 years old.
It's weird.
It's weird.
It's crazy.
I think
can't
of
even
my
imagine.
daughter at 5,
can't
and I'm
imagine
like,
that.
what?
I can't imagine.
No. She can barely ride a bike.
I know. Back then, though, there was no such thing as the helicopter parent.
Exactly. But she became the youngest licensed pilot at age 16 in 1927, and she's known as the Flying Flapper of Freeport, which is so cool.
Cute.
She was named the best female pilot in the U.S. by the American Society of Promotion of Aviation in 1930 at just 19 years old. And she set women's world speed record of 190 miles per hour in 1929.
Oh, that's amazing.
Isn't it? So there's an exhibit of her at the
Cradle of Aviation. So the same day we filmed, and in the same episode we have Long Island Children's Museum and the Cradle of Aviation Museum.
Right.
And when I went there, by the way, I totally nerd out on this stuff. Yeah. I could have spent the whole day there. By the way, you've got to go to the Cradle of Aviation Museum if you haven't been there, or tune into Long Island TV and you'll see it.
It's so amazing. I loved it there when I went.
You know that every lunar module that went to space, they were made here on Long Island. And
incredible.
There's the only put together lunar module in the world is there. on display because it
unbelievable.
was built and then the space station, the space system was like shut down in 2019. So it never went.
Right.
And now like the technology is too ancient to go up. So it's there on display.
Isn't that insane? It's too ancient to go up. That's
they're like
crazy.
the technology in your phone is more advanced than the technology in this lunar module. It's
Wow.
crazy. But so they have a whole exhibit, and I think she's one of them that you just talked about.
One of like 7 women.
But they have this great flyer that I took where they have all women in aviation, and there's this other exhibit of this woman, and I can't remember her name. You'll have to go to the Cradle of Aviation to see it. But she was like a Hollywood movie star, kind of.
Wow.
Hollywood. And she was also a pilot. She was the first woman to fly across the English Channel by herself. And Andrew, the executive director, the CEO there, was so amazing. And he was telling the story. And he's like, so she goes to bed and she's thinking, I'm going to be on the cover of every paper tomorrow because I'm the first woman to actually successfully fly across the English Channel solo. And that's the day the Titanic sank.
Oh my goodness.
So no one knows about her.
Right.
Harriet Quimby.
Wow.
Thank you, Alyssa. So no one knows about Harriet Quimby because she should have been this incredible aviation figure.
Right.
But that day the Titanic sank, and it shows her like and she was like all into this fashion. She had like all this amazing aviation fashion that she would wear. And then it showed her plane, and then he was like, so several years later, she tragically fell out of her plane.
Oh my goodness.
I'm like, what? She tragically fell out of her plane?
Right.
That is the most horrific
Oh my gosh.
death. And he's like, yeah, it was before seatbelts and like FAA stuff. I'm
Black
like,
boxes. And,
oh my God. Anyway, it's so cool there. They have like a Pan Am flight from back in the
so
day.
amazing.
And you see how tiny they are. And you're like, oh my God, I would never get on this plane.
I can't. Like I get claustrophobic looking at it,
It's
like
so scary. And people are dressed to the nines.
Yeah, it's
because it used to be
amazing.
very expensive.
Yeah.
And you're like, every time you went up, you're just like risking death.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, cheers
Thank
to
God,
women.
look how far we've come.
I know, but I love that you brought that up because cheers to the adventurous women who have really made an impact.
Especially here on Long Island.
Yeah, not only on Long Island, but
Right.
they did it here on Long Island, but it made an impact for everyone in the world because it advanced aviation or science or technology or
it's
whatever we've
incredible.
done. So
Cheers to the women.
Yeah. Cheers to you.
Cheers to you.
So Sharon, you know what time it is?
It's
Tea time. Okay, so what's your tea?
So, speaking of spring break and the kids being home from school and all that stuff, I'm super excited because we talked about being locked down or whatever. They're just actually so excited to go to Urban Air this spring break, which is an indoor trampoline and ziplining park.
Yeah, my kids have been there. It's bomb.
It is. They've been there before, but now this week they're doing it where it's limited capacity, so you have to reserve online, and they do it.
Is it just opening this week?
It's just opening.
Oh,
yeah.
cool.
So like they're one of the first groups to be in there, which is awesome. But it's amazing the things that they can do, and like the ticket pricing is super reasonable.
Mm-hmm.
But you can buy tickets. Like Braden's going to be 9 in September, so he can
even
do like
believe
the
that.
platinum
Shut
level.
up.
I know, it's insane.
I can't even believe.
I can't either.
He was like 3.
It's insane, and just like his little attitude. You're like, wow, are you a man?
He's
What's
such
happening?
a mama's boy.
He is my prince. He is
He's
my
so
prince.
handsome and so polite.
They're just so cute. And Pearl's super excited because she's like, Mom, I get to like do the zip lining this year because she's old enough now, she could do it. But Evie, I'm like, what is she gonna do? I don't know. But I don't like to say nanny, but my child care provider is going to take them there this week. So I'm so
That's
excited.
awesome.
Yeah.
They're gonna have so much fun. My kids love it there.
Yeah.
And I just went there last week and it was still closed. So that's cool.
So they're opening up. It's awesome.
Yeah, that's awesome. And it is a really cool attraction. So that's awesome.
Yeah.
You take pictures and put it on the Insta?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Maybe little videos of them doing the zip line. That freaks me out. I'm like, hold on.
Yeah, but that place is amazing.
Yeah,
you go
they
in there
fall
and
into
there's
a net.
something to do for everything.
For every age, which is so cool.
I remember the first time I went there, I was like, whoa, this is like a huge attraction in and of itself.
Yeah, exactly.
So my tea is kind of similar about spring break. We were just talking about the Long Island Children's Museum, but a lot of that can be overstimulating, right? A lot of that stuff is difficult for people that have like challenges, developmental challenges. And we were reached out to on the podcast by this new attraction called Gigi's Playhouse, which just opened on Long Island this week. And it's for children with Down syndrome.
It's so amazing.
Yeah. And we started looking into it. It's in Patchogue. It just opened. It's like the first of its kind on Long Island.
I think it's incredible.
Yeah. And it's really, I mean, it's completely made for these special children who, you know, have different cognitive skills and tactile skills. And it's a place where they can go and just enjoy, and for the parents too.
Yeah.
I mean, it's what a
just
wonderful.
to see the joy in their faces, you know, which is so amazing.
And I applaud the system so much for this group so much for launching this incredible new facility in Patchogue. It's called Gigi's Playhouse. It's one of a kind on Long Island, and it's really something that, you know, we always talk about how Long Island is like a community.
Sure.
And how we really care about each other, and we care about every single person that lives here and all the diversity that we have. And this is another great example of the diversity on Long Island.
And it's hometown pride.
It's hometown pride.
It's awesome.
And it looks so cute. It was there's an article in Newsday about it as well that was today. And it's the cutest place. And look at these kids. They're having
I know, they look so adorable.
So much fun. And where they can go and just be free and let loose. Yeah. Just like the kids at Long Island Children's Museum, but in a way where they can feel safe and they can feel welcomed, and their parents can have that respite moment too and relax. So we applaud Gigi's Playhouse.
Absolutely.
And we encourage everyone that has a special, beautiful Down syndrome child to go there, and what a wonderful community additional attraction. So,
absolutely.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
I was excited to talk about that.
Yeah. It's so new and fresh, and it's we don't have anything else like that. You know?
Yeah, it's the first of its kind, and you know what? It's one of those things that once it's here, you're like, how did we never have that before?
Right, exactly.
I know,
I mean, there's different programs and things like that, but this looks amazing. It kind of looks like similar to Urban Air, where it's like, you know, different setups and things that they can just go and be in free and have so much fun, and
it's so important for these parents who, you know, again, they put so much energy and effort into these beautiful children every day, and it's a way where they can go and just everyone can just have joy and have fun. And so as we talked about Long Island Children's Museum and Urban Air, I was like, oh my gosh, it's a great example of another, you know, special like Down syndrome children, and they're so beautiful. And I just thought, I can't wait. It looks fun. I kind of want to go there.
I want to go.
I'm like, I'm not going to lie. I'm like, it looks really fun.
It does.
A wonderful new attraction, and with so much more to talk about as we go into spring and summer. And we appreciate everyone listening. We'll be on our social, so please follow all of our social media channels on Long Island Tea Podcast, and make sure DM us. Oh, by the way, during the break, Chris coined our new segment.
Yes.
I already forgot it. What's it called?
Uncorked. With Kristen and Sharon.
Uncorked with Kristen and Sharon.
I love it.
Uncorked advice. What was it? Uncorked advice. I love it.
Perfect.
Which is true, because you're gonna get our advice after drinking wine,
right? Which is incredible, because isn't that the best advice?
You know, like the honesty comes out. It's not always the most sound advice.
Yeah, but honesty is reality, right?
But it's truthful advice. And it's authentic.
We're excited.
I think. So make sure you DM us your questions for Uncorked with Kristen and Sharon, our new segment, and we will answer all of your questions.
Yeah.
All right. So I look forward to answering them. See you next week.
See you next week. Thanks.
Cheers.